until we get it. Come on down if you wet it. Wake up, let's go, we're on a mission. Recognize we've got that power. And we make sure that you know it. Got that pride, go ahead and show it. Stand up, fight back, no time for hoping. Recognize we got that power. Don't stop until we get it. Come on down if you wet it. Wake up, let's go, we're on a mission. Recognize we've got that power. And we make sure that you know it. Got that pride, go ahead and show it. Stand up, fight back, no time for hoping. Recognize we got that power.
Good morning, or good afternoon, rather. You're tuned in to the Elife Power Lunch Show with Dr. Baruch and Chris Murray. How are you?
I am doing great, Chris. How about you?
I am wonderful. It's spring. The sun looks like it wants to come out, so I'm excited to see if that's going to happen today, but I know it'll happen soon for sure.
Well, it's likely to snow.
Snow?
Snow any day in Washington, D.C. is unpredictable.
This is true.
We're likely to have 30-degree weather, snow, rain, sleet, 70-degree weather, and whatever comes with that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy, and it's hard to prepare in terms of what you wear. So yeah. I'm just, I kind of go with whatever it is then, and pack my layers in the car. That way, if I need to change all of a sudden, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Well, we've got, again, a good show. We've got really a person who I've known. It's funny because Brother Grandmaster Dennis Brown mm-hmm. was somebody who I featured way back in the day, 25 years ago. And in fact, this brother who's going to be coming on today is also somebody who I featured. So we have been together and have been working together. I've been learning from him, and he's been a stalwart for, making us understand some of the sciences that many of us have dismissed, mm-hmm. disconnected from, have demonized,
right.
But it's some really good teaching that we're going to get today. So hopefully you all have your pens and your pads out.
Yes.
And you're prepared, and that for those of you who might want to ask questions, you're welcome to give us a call here in the studio, and we're going to work all of that out. So without further ado, let us bring on our brother Gabree Ahmlak, Minister Gabree Ahmlak. Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
Dr. Baruch, how are you? Shalom, shalom. Yeah, we met each other in 1990 at Howard University, and you really impressed me then, because you not only you carry yourself always in a very professional manner, but you were broad-minded when a lot of people in the institution you were in then were kind of focused on the orthodox concepts, and metaphysics to many of us is something strange anyway. So I've always appreciated that you're allowing me to share that with you since then. You were one of the people, from a storm, you were one of the people who actually helped me survive and grow in Washington, D.C. So thank you so very much. Yes. Of course, I feel a little guilty, brother, because I'm out here in Las Vegas with the sun beaming through my window, 85 degrees. So, I'll pull my blade. I'll pull my shades close, okay?
Yes, please enjoy some of that sunlight.
So I want to talk to you all today about, first of all, to talk about the science itself, because that we begin to understand more about astrology. It's really a matter of life or death, because many of our people have been turned against it, even though the Christian Bible, number 1, says, in Genesis 1:14, let there be lights in the heaven to deal with signs and seasons. Luke 7:21-25, there will be signs in the sun, moon, stars. Nation will be in agony and perplexity. Ecclesiastes, everything is a sign of the seasons. And we know Jesus, they found the baby Jesus, allegorically or otherwise, based on the sun, moon, and stars. And so we have a problem because we're losing people, valuable people. Dr. Sabi, Prince, many of us might have liked Joan Withers, the pastor in South Carolina that got killed with 9 people in the church. You could see in their energy field because we're all like minor, or let's say, biocomputers. And you can see in a person's energy field, their aura, under the lens of astrology, what position the energies are in that particular time, and what they're going to be attracting and repelling. And so we as the people have to really understand that we have to change our attitude towards this. Right. Dr. Seeley, for example, passed away because the truth got taken out because he moved into a situation that he should have avoided because the energies in the chart were in a conflictual relationship. Wow. So I want to talk to other people, maybe get some folks to call in. But I'd first like to say something about the vernal equinox. We're still in that phase, of course, and today is the second day that we're having. The vernal equinox, as we know, is when the length of the day is equal to the length of the night. So both days, the 20th and the 21st, have equal days in that sense. So spring is officially declared when the sun moves into Aries. So we're in this new astrological year, and we can put them all together, the vernal equinox, the new astrological, the new year. The celebration of Easter, metaphysically, it's all the same. It's about newness and resurrection. And so I like to have people, when they feel up to it, call in and talk about their particular energy patterns and how they can best utilize these sciences to enhance their understanding. And of course, Brother Baruch and Sister Chris, I'm very glad to be with you because, boy, we take a long time getting here, right, brother?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But, before you jump in any further, I want you to tell us about astrology. What is astrology? What is that science? And then maybe even what is it that got you into it? What made you have an interest in astrology?
Okay, this astrology is actually the science of energy, the electromagnetic energy field in which we live and move and have our being. Astrology, astronomy, basically the same science, even though astrology has morphed off into the signs, the zones around the Earth in our immediate solar system, and not so much into the astronomical aspect. That's why they have these two debates between astrology, tropical, and sidereal, but that's another thought. Mm-hmm. But I got into these teachings. I've always been kind of inclined, though, to move into the the exotic things. But what happened, I grew up in Harlem in a family of 12 brothers and sisters, and I saw the direction that they were going, because I was raised in Harlem when Harlem was the culture capital. So, there wasn't all these drugs and stuff. They just started coming in the middle 50s. And so I began I wanted to avoid the same pitfalls that I saw everyone else going into. I was a jazz singer. We played a lot of nightclubs in Harlem at the time. And I met this sister, Miss Borders. She was involved in metaphysics. And she said, you need to come to our metaphysics, is the study of the underlying principles of anything. But she was studying the underlying principles of religion. And so that's how I got involved. She said, well, you need to come. We were both studying with this teacher that used to teach Lena Horne. And she said, you need to come to one of our meetings. So I went to the meeting, and along with that meeting with her, I used to go to this shoe shine parlor. And the brother who owned the parlor, he used to always, jab at me, verbally. He said, here, dummy, here's the book of Khalil Gibran's. And so, the prophet. And so between Gibran and this lady with metaphysics that talked about science of mind and different things of that nature, that's how I got involved. So that was like in the 60s. And that was my beginning. So having this analytical kind of nature, I really delved into it, and that's how I got involved. So what happened is I eventually found out that astrology, we live in this universe, of course, that has electromagnetic frequencies permeating every iota of its space. And so once I began to study astrology, and I began to study the Bible from a symbolical, esoteric, metaphysical point of view, so it took it into a whole nother level. So that's basically how I stayed with this brother from Florida, Bishop Moody, and he trained me. He was the one that suggested that I go into the ministry. I wasn't thinking about the ministry. I was out there with Cuba Gooding and Leon Thomas, jazz singers singing all around Manhattan, New York. And I got involved in the Jewish bar mitzvahs, the big circuit, hanging out with the big boys. And I suddenly decided that I wanted to. Bishop Moody said, you need to go into the ministry. I said, okay. So that's how I got involved. Then I got readings, and the readings I got with astrology, numerology, the tarot, palmistry, they all said the same thing, that you're destined to be a part of the ministry teaching. Okay? And that's how I got involved.
Can you explain or just clarify a little bit, because you mentioned...
I can't hear you.
You mentioned Christianity. You can hear me okay now?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is what you do a part of that, or is it separate? How does that work?
Well, it's a part of it, because, the deeper I got into studying, see, the problem with Christianity, as with most Orthodox religions, is we understand it only from the literal Orthodox traditional perspective, and the literal Orthodox perspective was never intended to enlighten anybody. So when I left the church, though, when I got involved in metaphysics, I left in the 70s or so. I guess that's when it happened. And when I came back from India, my teacher advised me that it would be better for me and for my community if I went in and taught people Christianity from a deeper point of view. Because I, like many others, was discouraged by seeing, the fables and the way Christianity was dealing with people's spirituality. So I got involved understanding Christianity from the point of view of symbolism. And when you get to understand symbolism, you see that all the scriptures are basically saying the same thing. Am I answering your question?
Yes, definitely. And then my next question would be, I imagine that you face some challenges when you're doing so, because I know my background is Christian, although I too have left the church. It's something that you're taught to kind of stay away from. It's taboo. Astrology or, card reading, palm reading, all of that's kind of lumped in together. How do you deal with that?
Well, like I'm saying, you see, once you understand the sciences from the underlying, once you understand it from the underlying laws and principles, you understand that karma, reincarnation, the tarot, astrology, all of those teachings are embedded. In other words, once the doctor really understands medicine, then he understands the chemistry and the biological functions of every human organism. You know what I'm saying? So once you understand that at that level, you see, for example, if you understand the serpent in the Christian Bible, in the book of Genesis, crawling on the ground, the serpent that Moses makes stand up in the wilderness is the same serpent force that comes through the Egyptian Nefertiti's forehead, the same serpent that's in the Hindu scriptures, the same serpent on the medical caduceus. Is the same force that is the most powerful energy called the Kundalini in the human organism. And so it awakens our chakras, our spiritual senses. And so these books is telling the same story. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Huh?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can't hear you good on this end. So I'm saying each of these spiritual books are telling us the same story. You got my point?
Yes, we do.
Am I answering your question?
Yes, thank you.
See, so what I'm saying, what happens is once you understand, but you have to understand, you have to go beyond the literal interpretation. It hurts me deeply to see so many brothers and sisters on Facebook knocking Christianity, religion. They don't even understand what the word religion means. Religion means to bind back. So whatever system you use to bind yourself back to the source of your origin, that's your religion. Or knocking the teachings of Jesus instead of understanding that whether Jesus existed or not, what the story represents is our traveling on the path to spiritual evolution. So when you hear me talking about Easter, Palm Sunday, Easter represents the crucifixion, Judas, the crucifixion and the resurrection of my higher self, no matter what religion I do it in. The 5 wounds on the body of Jesus represent symbolically ego, lust, anger, greed, and attachment that everyone has to overcome. The palm tree of riding into Jerusalem on the donkey, are you there?
Yes, we're hearing you.
The donkey represents our stubborn animal nature, that only our highest spiritual self can ride into Jerusalem, the city of peace. And palm on Palm Sunday represents a token of victory because it comes from the highest tree that has a crown. So everyone in every religion, has to go through those same changes.
Yes.
But our pastors, our people don't understand. Our so-called religious teachers don't understand that. You see?
Well,
and
again, I think
Yes,
we're talking to Minister Gabree Ahmlak, and you're sharing with us something that, of course, for many people, we're taught to demonize. Oh no, that's wicked. That's black magic. So there has to be that period of time that people kind of go through that transformation. They have to transition from believing in more of what we call some of the religious experiences that have now replaced some of the solid things that we used to do. Now more mythical, and we need to start beginning to engage more of the cosmic and the mystical, in the sense that there is a terrestrial attachment that we have to the universe, and there's an attachment that we have to one another. And the science that you're teaching us about, when you think about a palm reader, you think, oh no, I would never want to do that. But you and I have talked about that, and I've talked to others about it, to understand that there is a science to it. This isn't something where somebody's just making up some stuff.
Right.
And there is a science to numerology, and understanding that there's a numerical value associated with your name, associated with your date of birth, associated with, so many things. There's a numerical value that you can pull up, and then you can make determinations based on that numerical value. But we're being pulled away from that, disconnecting from that, and just being told that what we should do is just have faith in this stuff, that, it doesn't make as much sense as what these same people are calling black magic and evil and wicked. But we're supposed to have faith in this other thing. So it's not that I want to demonize, the religions, but I think the sciences that you're sharing with us, and that you have the capacity to share with us, open up our minds to just, in fact, how capable we are in dissecting our challenges, directing our path, and determining our successes. And I think this is it's really fascinating, but at the same time, it's really concrete and it's grounding. So I appreciate you for the work that you've been doing, and especially in teaching, in teaching people this science, because it's of no value to us if we don't know it exists. So
and see, sir, the thing that you bring out in such an eloquent fashion is that it's like if you go into a restaurant and you see the people throwing away a lot of good food, I'm saying, that they could use in a more efficient manner. You say, what are you doing? So I'm seeing people, for example, I'm saying, no, there's a lot of good. I'm not asking you not to be a Christian. or Muslim or Buddhist, I'm asking you to find the essence of it. And that's what it's teaching. So it's not telling anybody out there, even if we prove that there was no Jesus, as many more people want to believe, 325 AD, he still was a symbol. It symbolizes the ideal person that you and I are here to become. And so even if we're calling, what I call aqua, water, or puja, or H2O, it's still the same substance. And so we spend too much time throwing away the baby with the bathwater. And so what I'm aspiring to do, and I want to appreciate you for your help over the years, the last 27 years, is to help people understand the essence of the teaching. Because, brother, when I was in Georgia and D.C., I had brothers who were into the Hebrew Israelite movement who told me that the Kabbalah was witchcraft, as I know you know. And the Kabbalah is one of the most powerful tools in the Christian Bible. So we need these teachings desperately now. And that's the good thing about what we're experiencing through this Trump situation. Because Trump is not doing it. The cosmos is demanding that we stop playing games and pushing us to the wall. And this is another subject, of course. Go ahead, sir.
Right. Yeah, of course. And thank you.
I'm not hearing you. I don't know if it's the phone situation.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
It's okay. Yeah, no, I wanted to thank you as well for sharing, because my knowledge and experience with this is definitely at a minimum, but it's very interesting to me. And like you say, I think it's very important that we continue to share this information so that other people have a better understanding, because it impacts all of us, whether we know it or not.
But you just said that we don't have to make the wheel over. It's just understanding how to use it properly. So my frustration over the years is helping people to understand. No, don't. Some people have to be black or white. You have to do all the way. And I'm saying no. You can use the system. We don't have to discard Christianity. It's like the vehicle needs to be repaired, but the engine is fine. Because the same engine of truth works through all these systems. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's great. And it's great that you bring it that way, because you don't offend anybody. Mm-hmm. You, in fact, embrace them. And again, we're talking to Minister Gabree Ahmlak, who, among other things, is would you call yourself a Kabbalist, or what is the title?
Well, okay, I call myself a metaphysical Christian minister. Okay. A Christian minister who actually deals with the essence of the teaching. It's just that, once again, it's all there. You see, we just have to get beyond taking the Bible literally. And back to what you were saying earlier, Dr. Aline, we would rather believe a foolish fairy tale. We'd rather believe that there was a talking serpent than to believe that that's a symbolism. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. So we would take the stuff we're talking about, people would say, and that's witchcraft, but you believe in talking serpents and rivers parting. And if the talking serpent is true, then the book is no good now, because I haven't seen it. Have you seen any talking serpents lately? Okay. You see? So right. We have to show people. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. No, that's great. Go ahead.
So it's symbolism. For example, brother, I'm so eager to help people understand about the Kabbalah. Kabbalah is not just associated with Madonna and Hollywood. The Kabbalah is the deeper teachings of ancient Israel that actually belong to the cosmos. If you look at the Hebrew, so-called Jewish Hebrew alphabet, look at it closely, folks. If you have a Bible around you, they're little flames. So the Hebrew language Aramaic language is actually a language of flames, that the people who took it, claimed it was theirs, actually took these teachings. All these symbols come from the cosmos. The star and crescent, the Christian cross, these are not Islamic Christian symbols. They belong to the cosmos. And so when you look at the Hebrew language, you see they're little flames. And this is the most powerful tool. It's a strong word. This is the most powerful tool we have at our disposal today. Because when you're meditating on the Hebrew alphabet, you're meditating on the DNA of the cosmos, the DNA in your genes. So you, for example, as a physician, sir, if we understand that the 22 Hebrew letters are actually the 22 strands of DNA in the amino acids. And so if somebody comes and says, so I have a problem with my pineal gland, or I have a problem with my medulla oblongata, you can tell them what Hebrew letter, which is a life code, will help them align that. You see? So we have to, the problem though, Brother Baruch, I know you know this, the problem is that our folks don't want to eat right. Right. And you can't evolve this spiritual consciousness without eating the right foods. We haven't got in our brain yet that this biocomputer human organism cannot work unless we get rid of the viruses, the toxic foods.
Right, right. Yeah.
It can't. We don't understand we have to upgrade the computer. I have a computer here, sir, and my computer has I have a hotspot, but it wouldn't work with 4G. I couldn't talk to you on a 3G. I'd have to put in 4G. So we have to do the same thing with this biocomputer. The church refused to understand, and that's the wonderful thing about what you do again. Because brother Aline, whatever flaws that we have as individuals, that brother go over to Israel and did what he did with all these people. It's an awesome achievement. We have to understand that. So you, brother, and even the Nation of Islam, in this ideal function, have shown people you have to eat right to get to this high spiritual realm. But anyway, I'm saying, so you have there the Kabbalah, brother. We have to get people to understand that teaching, and I'm excited about sharing it with you. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Hi, Sister Chris.
Hello.
You gave me the letters, and so I've been reviewing the letters that you gave to me, which reflect the energy that is expressed every time someone says my name.
Yes,
can you break that down and why it's important for us to even look at our name?
Yeah, it's just, in other words, Baruch, okay, when you understand that the name, if you go into the bathroom and you take a shower and there's a vapor on the mirror, okay? That vapor on the mirror, if you write I am in the vapor or your name on the vapor, it's going to fill in because nature abhors a vacuum. Nature does not allow for vacuums because there's no such thing as space. So what the Creator God did, we're told, was to create vacuums. A square, a circle, a triangle, a rectangle, and then fill those vacuums in with energy. One more time, because if you put I am on the bathroom mirror, I is vertical, am is the and horizontal, you have a cross. Well, that'll fill in. So what happens is every time a person calls my name, your name, whoever's name, they create a vacuum. Are you with me, Chris?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And energy fills in that vacuum. So that's why we have to be careful the kind of words we use, the kind of thoughts we think, because in the scripture they say about the waters above and the waters below. The water below we see in the ocean. We're constantly moving through an ocean of etheric of water. And so everything that we say creates a vacuum. It's like somebody saying, well, you can take the N-word now and you could change it, say it, and make it positive. You can't make it positive because it already has a negative indentation, a negative vibration. Am I saying it?
Yeah. No. That's good stuff. And you talk about the waters above and the waters beneath.
Yes, sir.
Are you? I know this is off subject, but are you accepting or are you believing that the Earth is round or flat?
Oh, well, I'm believing that it's round.
Okay.
What the point that I'm saying, and that you see, the thing that blows my mind. You know what the first crystal is, right?
Is that the planet?
No, the first crystal is water. That's a mind blow. Yeah, the first crystal is water. And so, don't call me now. And so, the first crystal that we utilize it is a glass of water. So they're saying the Creator that a butterfly or a bird doesn't just swim on nothing. Okay, it swims. It moves through this etheric liquid substance. That's the waters above. You understand my point? So the only reason you can hear my voice, as you know, is because it's traveling on the ether.
Mm.
And so it's saying, birds are not just swimming on, flying on nothing. And so what they're saying, the creator gods did is they make vacuums. Any place that they want to create something. So let's say they take they make a vacuum round for the head, rectangle for the throat. You got my point? On down the whole body, and then those parts, the electromagnetic, just glue together, and you got a human form.
Wow.
You got me?
Yeah. We're talking again to Minister Gabree Ahmlak, and he's unlocking many of the hidden truths that are right here in front of us that, in some instances, we've been told to stay away from. Mm-hmm. And Minister, you as an astrologist. We're Libras, we're Cancers, we're, Sagittarius, all of these different Virgos. Virgo. Okay, but, is there any truth or is there any science behind these signs that we have, these astrological signs, and there being a difference between a Virgo and a Cancer, for instance?
Yeah, well, see, the difference, sir, is that we have these different energy frequencies. For example, the energy that permeates the atmosphere in June is a different energy field than permeates the atmosphere in August. And so what the ancients did, what it tells you, Steve, is that there are these 12 zones around the Earth. And as you move away from the equator or towards the center, let's say when you move 30 degrees, 10 degrees, 20 degrees away from the center of the equator, then the energy fields change. And so the 12 disciples, and you have the disciples and I hope we can do a demonstration for someone who calls in, okay?
Yeah,
sir?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the energy field of Virgo, of Sagittarius, the 12 disciples represent these 12 zones around the Earth. The pyramids were also, at Giza particularly, was built to accommodate these energy fields, which we can talk about at some point. So each of the 12 disciples, whether it's Jesus' disciples or Hercules' disciples or Christian disciples, they each represent the 12 aspects of our personality. And so, yes, but the thing to keep in mind is that each person is all 12 signs. When I'm born, the whole sky is there. But it's just where the sun is at that makes me a Sagittarius. But I have all the other signs in me someplace. Like Trump, for example, I wanted to mention that a little bit, is that we can look at his energy field, if I may, and we can see in this chart he has Gemini strong, but he also has Leo strong. That gives him that big ego. His Gemini makes him always want to diversify, changing everything. His Cancerian energy makes him very vulnerable emotionally, and he's really a very insecure person inside, emotionally. And that's why he's always trying to prove how bad he is. So you can see, and the Sagittarius energy, and these are all functioning because our energies function, sir, on a positive level and a not positive level. Obviously, much of his energy is not on a positive level because you don't have a spiritual base. Anybody that doesn't have the spiritual base, they're at the mercy of the energy field in which they live and move and have their being. Because we're not this body or the mind, we're the the conscious being inside.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
but it all depends on how much spiritual empowerment we have. So he obviously is not able to take charge. But here we go. So his womanizing thing is the lower expression of the Sagittarius energy. So I'm just saying, so we know when looking at this chart, we know exactly when he's going to fall this year. We know the kind of energies that are affecting him. And it's not that we're putting this among the stars, among God rather, but if you don't have an anchor, then you're just a machine.
Mm.
You got my point? And he's a machine.
So
You have people in. Sir, go ahead.
are you in a position to predict the fall?
Oh yes, sir. Just by seeing it, it's like we know exactly. And I was telling earlier on, if you heard me, that Hillary would win and then lose because the energy is in her chart. You can see it's like you go to a doctor. You're a doctor, and you can say, okay, this organ is not going to last you another 6 months unless you do such and such and such. And so you can see in his energy field that he's going to crumble up this year because the only thing he should have ran for this year, brother, was the border. That's how whacked up his energy field is.
Mm.
See? So he let them use him as a mascot to set it up. But I said this morning, and I said over again, that Trump's fall is not going to help us. It's going to make it worse.
Oh, yeah.
You don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
See, you see, because of the fact that the Republican Party just needed somebody like flamboyant like him to get in office.
Right.
And they paid him into it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's not going to last for the rest of the year. But anyway, you can look at the person chart and see that.
So
it's not nothing magical or psychic. It's mathematics. Yes, sir.
is there a day or a month, that this is going to...
Probably around May. Somewhere between May, May and let's say June.
Okay.
That he brought his biggest fall, because as you can see, the spots in a person's aura, in the energy field, and you can see that this energy here is going to collide. It's just all math. So that's how we know. Here. So for example, Obama, right? Obama had the energy of Saturn, which deals with discipline, and Mars, which deals with activity and action in a harmonious adjustment. In his energy, he's wired like that. So he can go 8 years without losing his temper.
Right.
You see?
Right.
Because he's wired like that. He's wired to be cool.
Mm.
So we look at people that say, but what? And it doesn't mean, see, you're only at mercy to your energies if you don't have a spiritual base. So if he's got that, if he's cool, it's because he's wired cool.
Mm.
If another person is wired combative, like you can look at a person's chart, and you can see what's there when the child is born. If you if you know somebody's birthday or someone calls in a birthday, you can look at that and see.
Now, what about changing somebody? Can you change somebody if somebody's wired to be aggressive and non-caring? Can you transform them into somebody who's less aggressive, more peaceful and caring?
Yes, sir. You can to a degree. You can say, okay, model this particular person. Okay, to a degree. You can change them to the degree that their spiritual empowerment. You see, that's the whole thing. That's like Jesus allegorically changing the personality of Judas or whoever, of Paul, who wanted to cut people's ears off. Okay? So it depends on how much spiritual empowerment the person has. You see, and that don't mean going to church every Sunday and just saying a bunch of prayers. It means opening your chakras. You see, one of the problem we have is we don't understand that. So yes, you can change. Well, the cosmos can change you. That's a wonderful thing, sir, about the Hebrew alphabet. Because check this out now, the Ahmlak alphabet. If I am a person who is not able to discipline myself or balance myself, then I would take a letter like Lamed, okay, that rules justice, all right, that rules balance, and I'll meditate on that letter, and that letter will attract into my being the energy I need.
Wow. And this teaching that you're sharing with us today, is this something that you teach? Do you offer any type of online or webinar type workshops where those in
yes,
the
sir.
D.C.
I'm
metropolitan area
teaching
can
the
benefit
Kabbalah,
from that?
sir?
I'm sorry, go ahead, say that again.
No, I'm teaching the Kabbalistic webinars now, where people can join, and they'll get one webinar a week. And of course, as we're planning, I'm hoping, God willing, to be able to come up to D.C. and spend 6 months out of the year up there and 6 months out here. Okay? I actually came out here to build a spiritual retreat in Nevada because they claim that Nevada is one of the spiritual hotspots on the planet. So if you've never been to Tahoe, oh, brother, it's awesome. So yes, I do webinars and seminars.
And speaking about location, so then you also subscribe to the idea of energy lines and frequencies, like I think Harmon lines.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Certain spots have been really set up. It's like Chicago, for example, has a very twisted kind of energy going through there, and that's why certain parts of it, rather, attract so many people who have this Jesse Jackson and other folks. I know, I said it. Who got on this hidden agenda, okay? Because that town, for example, Los Angeles has a tendency, California, certain parts of California have a big energy for the whole homosexual thing, okay? Yeah. And so, yes, I'm saying that too. I'm saying that what we have to do is we have to make, if I can put that in there, on my own, we have to make some adjustments on those kind of things also. So yes, but that kind of California, there are towns that attract. Towns attract certain personalities. Every city has a chart. Okay. DC is Pisces. Okay. For example, Georgia is certain parts of Georgia. Georgia is Sagittarius. Atlanta, different parts, okay? So because of the fact that when a town is named, that's when the town is born in terms of, the date is charted, it's incorporated. Is Chris still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
She's taking copious notes.
Okay. So go ahead. Yes, sir. So yes, sir. There's certain time. That's why I decided that I want to do the thing in Tahoe, because Tahoe is an awesome place. They claim, people who want to believe in Atlantis, they claim that Atlantis, when Atlantis sunk, a lot of the Atlanteans came here. So brother, there's so much, and once again I thank you. There's so much that we can get and learn and benefit from, especially melanated people. You see, Carl asks me quite often, my dear brother Carl, whom I love so dearly. He says to me, well, are we going to get it together? And that same question I have answer every time. We're not going to get it together. It's not going to be any better unless we make it better.
Right.
And we just refuse to do the things. You see, here we have, as you know, we have the baddest electromagnetic biocomputer on the planet, melanated, but we're in the basement of our melanin.
Right.
We're in all the lower centers, beneath the navel.
Wow. Where do you? When is your next class being offered, or is this something that we can click on and it's a pay-per-view type scenario, or do you have a YouTube channel? Tell us how to find and where to find you.
Yeah, well, okay. The classes are $50 a month, and they get one class a week. Okay, and I have the lessons ready to email to them, the webinars. All right, and then they can call and ask me questions. But basically, yeah, they're prepared every week. All right.
Yep.
And it goes into, see, the Kabbalah has Kabbalah. Kabbalah is just a name. Kabbalah, check this out. Kabbalah means to receive. So Kabbalah actually teaches us how to use symbols to attract and download information from the cosmos. So if I look at a star and crescent, or look at a Christian cross, or a Star David, Solomon's Sea, or whatever, I will attract into my mind the information associated with that particular symbol that's already in the cosmic bank.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kabbalah shows us how to put different letters together, because those letters are flames, and then it shows us how to draw energy to us from the cosmos. It's all set up already.
It's very interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me just how everything is connected, and that's why I'm quiet, because I'm listening. Because I didn't expect you to say like the letters of your name have a certain significance. I know meanings and kind of having a say over a child's life. That's why it's important the name that you choose to give to your child when it's born. But just to understand that it has this level of connection from a scientific background, to me is very, very interesting. And I'm personally interested in people and the connections that they have, and so I imagine that this is something that affects that as well.
But you see, the thing we want to understand too, sis, is that our biggest problem is our lack of understanding about spiritual laws and principles. You said something about children that really rung a bell, because we're saying also that we've been here we've been here thousands of times before. You see, as long as we allow the churches and other religious institutions to turn us against spiritual laws and principles, we'll never get it together. But once you build a chart for it, you'll see in a person's chart the kind of souls that you brought into your space. You'll see the kind of child that came into you, and what your relationship was with that child from other lifetimes. So when Jesus says a man's foe should be of his own household, he's saying that some of our relatives are enemies from other lifetimes. Many of them are.
So,
Yes,
so you're like you need to be in everybody's life,
Right.
because they're decisions that we're making on a daily basis. And if we don't make them in the right month with the right person who was born in the right year and the right month on the right day, then chances are we may not have the kind of success we're supposed to have.
Well, brother, we're lucky that we get down the street. Because there's so much. I see people come in and they're angry because somebody, I said, why are you angry with that soul? We look at their chart and we see in the chart. My teacher told me one time, check this out, we was in the Himalayas in a meeting. And he said, and you can see him online, Kirpal Singh, the man you see me on the picture with. And he said, if you knew who that baby was, you'd kill it on the spot, maybe. Because the baby you hold and kissing may have been your worst enemy. But the thing you have to understand is that love and hate are the two strongest magnets. And so the people who you hate may come back as a Siamese twin, because you got to work that out. You can't leave no inharmonious stuff, not in the cosmos. So people don't understand. I'll never speak to you again. No, you're gonna speak to me again. I might come back as your twin.
Wow.
You see? So that's why we need to understand that everybody around us has been around us before. I know a couple of years ago, brother, my sisters inherited this money from my mad, angry with me uncle. And it was like $30,000. They wouldn't give me a dime. And I was the hero in the family, generally. And I was so annoyed when I looked in their charts and my chart, we had some financial issues from other lifetimes.
Wow.
So you can look in the person's chart and see, brother Lazarus, I'm so angry with that person. No, you did something to that person, or vice versa. And you have people that love each other's first sight because they've been together before.
Wow.
Sir?
We want to use Chris as an example. So Chris wants to give you her birth date and the spelling of her name so that you can. Are you able to do a read on her with information that she can convey to you?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. Well, tell us what information you need, Minister.
I just need the date of birth.
9/5/1986.
Chris is off mic. I can't hear her.
September 5th, 1984, 9584.
Is she on another mic than you, sir?
No, I mean, well, we're on different mics, but she's on a
I
mic.
can't hear.
Can you hear me?
Okay,
Is it better? Is it better now?
No, it isn't. Good. Give it to me.
Okay, sure. It's 9/5/1984. September 5th, 1984.
September 5th, 1981?
84.
84. Okay, so that tells us the 5 day that you're born. I'm looking at a book called The Ephemeris. And the ephemeris shows me where all the planets were at your birth, okay? So 5/9, did you say? September 5th?
Yes, September 5th.
9/5, 81.
84.
Right?
84.
84. Oh, okay, so that lets us know that you are a free spirit, number one, because you're born on a 5 day. And so you need change and freedom. You can't have nobody in your space that's keeping tabs on you, huh? Hello?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, that's telling us what to do. So if you have a 5 child, you have to give the child more freedom than other children, and they get bored quick. The other thing in your child, because you have the moon at you, all 12 signs, right? You have the moon in Taurus, right? Hello? You there?
Yeah, we're here.
So you have a tendency to be a little on the stubborn side, huh? Okay? Talk to me.
Maybe.
Okay, so it's not doing that. It can be a plus, but that is a part of your makeup. Once you make up your mind about something, it's made up. You got me?
Yep, that's correct. Yep, sounds right.
But we have to understand, I'm not this, if you have a stubborn energy field in which you live, you're not the energy field. You're the entity, and so you have the privilege or the capability of changing that if you have enough spiritual empowerment. Now, one of the things that you want to work with you is that you're very hard taskmaster. You're high standards. Is that you?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, that's her.
Talk to me.
That's
okay,
her.
so high standards, disciplinarian, but one of the problems in your chart system is that there's a tendency to worry needlessly, and that you asked me to read you. Okay. And there's a tendency to be, a bit running the showish. I don't want you're a great executive supervisor, and most executives and supervisors have a challenge realizing when they shouldn't be supervising. And did I say that tactfully enough?
Yes, thank you. You put it very nicely.
Huh?
Yes, thank you. You put it very nicely.
Yeah, and one of the things you also have to do is you really have to be, so anyway, one of the things you need to be careful of without getting paranoid is how you handle cars, automobiles, and that kind of machinery, okay?
Oh, okay.
You got me? But yeah, so that's basically what your energy is like, okay? I don't give it too much of, but that's basic. And interestingly enough, and you've always been a rebel. Do it your way. Is that right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So what you say, it's up to you to fix that. It's up to you to decide how that freedom-oriented energy will flow. Because otherwise you could be a rebel without a cause. Just doing it your way because the vehicle is suggesting that.
Right.
Wow. We always have to understand that I'm not the vehicle. People say, you're not just like that. Your vehicle is programmed that way. It's like I got a car years ago brought up in D.C., and the computer kept saying the back door wasn't open. The computer was broke. So we have to decide when an energy is telling us to do something correct and not correct.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So how do you do that? That's the process that we have to learn, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But first of all, one of the first steps on the spiritual path is to understand I am not my vehicle. I'm the rider. I'm not my. Check this out. I'm six-dimensional. I'm not the body, the mind, the emotion, the soul, or the spirit. I'm the conscious being watching all of those energies interplay. And I have to decide how I should respond. You know what I'm saying? You're in a room with 5 different people. They say all sick back saying, no, I'm not going to answer all y'all. Okay. You know. So the average person is they identify with the energies. Oh, that's just how I am. That's not just how you are.
Right. Right. That's again, we got to have you on more regularly because there's so much that you have to offer, and we do need to do more to get people calling in. We actually can set it up on Facebook so people can call in and be a part of the show, because I'm sure there are thousands of people out there that would like to get read, if you will, and know what it is that they need to do. But at the same time, I know this is what you do for a living. And so we'd like to find out how we can tie people into you so that they can benefit from you, but likewise, you can benefit from what you do.
Yeah, well, my phone, let me give you my phone, if I may.
Yeah.
916-628-5910, 916-628-5910. If you call, brothers and sisters, and you want me to, talk to you about reading, I need your name, your date of birth. But when you call me, give me your name and phone number a couple of times, okay? I think I told you before. I told a brother to call you, who I want. His name is Jermaine. And he's one of the head people that deals with Natural Hair Mag. And I'm going to be on their program every week doing something similar to across the globe. Mm. So it's time, brother. It really is time. So I was thinking this morning that no matter what Trump, no matter who does what, sir, we want to realize that we have all we need to fulfill what we are destined to do. And that's to develop myself spiritually, open my chakras. I do have 2 books out. One is The Superior Aspects of Women, the ebook form right now. The other book is The African American's Role in America's Spiritual Destiny. So between those 3 things, it's a great time, brother. I'm celebrating things like you and I. Events like you and I, and other things across the country that are happening for me across the globe. Oh, I have an album too. It's called Spiritual Dimensions. It's a jazz rap album, metaphysical. So, folks, please try to talk to me about that. It goes into 10 selections on the different aspects of life. One selection deals with don't play house if you can't move in. We don't understand that. I wrote an article the other day on Facebook that if you hear this all the time, Brother Boo, you hear people saying all the time, I keep identifying you with Brother Ali Muhammad.
I'm not ashamed or embarrassed. That's my guy. So we all right.
I love him. I love him.
Yes, indeed.
So he's born on the same day as The Rock.
Oh, okay.
August 4th. And so what happened, brother, is that where was that? I was saying what? Take me back.
Well, you were. Okay.
Right. Okay.
We got this gray hair thing going on, brother. Once we shift to another thought, it's like, what was that other thought? But no, I do look forward to us, and you coming in and doing something more consistent and regular and more formatted and structured, so that we can have people know that, okay, minister's coming on, and you get all your questions, get all your information together, because we want to hear what it is that you have to say. And you gave out your contact information, but give that out again for us.
Oh, yeah, 916-628-5. I'm laughing with the gray hair thing. 916-628-5910. Minister Gabree Ahmlak. And I have, like I said, the book's out. The webinars are there. And the song, the last song I was talking about was Don't Play House If You Can't Move In, because we don't understand that once you're intimate with somebody, that's your spouse. Once Adam knew Eve and became one flesh. So the song goes into heavy things like that. they're going to explain to men that throwing your semen around is killing yourself. Because
Right.
one drop of sperm, 40 drops of blood make one drop of sperm. So these are the kind of things that are in the songs.
Wow.
Okay? And these are the kind of things, we just want to talk about them because they're killing ourselves. We don't understand. That's brain food.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, there's so much.
Yeah, we need to have a conversation about that sexual energy and
Yes.
how we can preserve it and how preserving it preserves your life. And of course,
and I have an article on Facebook this week about what does your tongue say about your health.
right.
And people need to understand, you don't be putting your tongue in people's mouths, throwing your saliva around. I go to the supermarket, everybody got to lick the bag. I told the other day, I said, brother, don't lick your fingers to hand in my change. Oh, he went off on me. We don't understand that. So these are the kind of things that the song's going to. Okay? All right? Don't play
Okay.
house if you can't move in. All right?
All right. We've been listening to Minister Gabree Ahmlak, and he indeed is an authority in a whole lot of areas. But we are poised to have him come back on at least monthly. You know, at least having him on monthly to share with us his wisdom, to give us insight, and for you to personally call in and to get information about what it is that you are doing that you shouldn't be doing, what you should be doing, who you should be doing it with, and who you shouldn't be doing it with. So we've got your phone number, and we're going to be sharing that with people so that they can contact with you. We're going to repost this. So for those of you who are out there, you know, share, like, forward, you know, post, repost, subscribe, do all of that, and get in contact with our brother so that you can map out like a GPS coordinated map. You can map out life and figure out what you're supposed to do, who you're supposed to do it with, and at what time you're supposed to be doing it.
Because for everything there's a time and a season. We have to get hooked up into that more, okay?
That's it.
All right? And just in closing, brother, I want all you brothers and sisters out there to get as many people as you can together. And really, please support my brother, Amin. My brother Baruch. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much, Minister.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Another great show.
Definitely, that was interesting. He definitely read me.
Yeah, that's good energy, and it's a science that I think is underrated. You know, I think we underrate it, and there's so much in there that we can benefit from. So we're gonna have him on a regular. You know, numerology, astrology, cosmic, you know, I mean, the list goes on of all of the energy fields that are out there, like you said, that we're riding on or that information is riding on. So we want to tap in and get the right information.
That's right. Well, I know we have some exciting things going on this week, and you know, I hope you guys can take some time to come out because we put these events together specifically for you. We have great information, and it's not fair for us to keep it all to ourselves. So we've set up these events for you to come out and share and be a part of it, and invite other people that you know to be a part of it as well. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so we have the Health, Wealth, and Knowledge of Self workshop series. We're going to continue our conversation on the female reproductive system, which is very, very important because that's where we all come from. So we can learn about how we can preserve our women, ourselves, our sisters, our mothers, our daughters, and keep us healthy because, you know, women make the world go round, right?
That's it.
That's right. On Fridays, we have the movie night, and I think we're going to be seeing Akilah and the Bee. We'll confirm that for you tomorrow, but it's a great movie. We invite you to come out from 7 to 9 p.m., grab a bite to eat. We have popcorn, refreshments, snacks, and everything, so come out and have a great time with the family.
Right here at Everlasting Life, 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Absolutely.
That's right. And don't forget, every first Saturday, we have the Solstice Shopping Bazaar. That's every first Saturday, once again, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come out and be a part of it. Shop, support Black businesses, or vend. If you're interested in vending, don't hesitate to reach out and let us know that you're interested. I know they change pretty often, so there's always some new and exciting things to see. So
Great.
see you then.
Yep. Well, it's been a great show. And again, I appreciate you and the energy that you bring to the show and to the network and to the lives of the people that are out there listening and to my life. it's a great opportunity for us to collaborate. So for those of you who know somebody, or who knows somebody who knows somebody who you think might be of great benefit to bring exposure to, we like to think the work that we do here is like an infomercial. So bring them on, let them come on and talk about what they do, who they are, where they've been, what they've gone through, and how they overcame it, or maybe not.
Right.
Right here on the Elife Power Lunch, every Tuesday and Wednesday from 11 until 1 with Chris Murray and Dr. Baruch. Until tomorrow, you all stay good, eat healthy, and vibrate at the highest frequency you can contemplate and consider. And check your numerology out. Go check out your name and find out what people are saying when they say your name. All right? Until then, peace.
Take care, guys.